Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, October 11th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with ratings news. Netflix's Mr. McMahon docuseries accumulated 3.4 million more views in its second week of availability, including 19.5 million hours viewed. It placed 6th overall in Netflix top 10 TV shows for the week. The show also made the top 10 list in 24 other countries. In total, it's been viewed 8.3 million times in its first 2 weeks. TNA presented Impact yesterday on Access TV, featuring matches taped October 2nd and 3rd in Nashville. In the main event, Joe Hendry and TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth defeated AJ Francis and Casey Navarro.
What is this? Oh, a standing ovation! Imitation's the sincerest form of flattery.
It's the sincerest form of pain for Casey Navarro.
And now the famouser by the TNA World Champion. Nemeth and Hendry win.
Here are your winners, Joe Hendry and the TNA World Champion, Nick Nemeth.
What a little turnabout being fair play for Bound for Glory opponents.
TNA and NXT women joined forces on the show, with Wendy Chu, Rosemary, and Tasha Steelz falling in defeat to Sol Ruka, Masha Slamovich, and TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace. Later in the show, Slamovich would challenge Grace to a title match at Bound for Glory. In an X Division No. 1 contendership three-way match, Leon Slater emerged victorious over Jason Hotch and Laredo Kid. In other results, the Hardy Boys and ABC battled to a no contest due to interference from the system, and Josh Alexander beat Eric Young. Ring of Honor was streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped October 3rd in Toledo, Ohio. ROH World Champion Mark Briscoe defended his title on the show, defeating Josh Woods. Other champions were on hand, with New Japan Strong Openweight title holder Gabe Kidd retaining against Anthony Henry, and ROH World Women's TV Champion Red Velvet defeating Diamante by disqualification, along with ROH World Women's Champion Athena winning a non-title proving ground match against Lady Frost. In other selected results, Katsuyori Shibata beat Brandon Cutler, and Shane Taylor Promotions topped the Infantry. And in more WWE news, Jesse Ventura officially announced yesterday that he is back in the WWE fold after signing a Legends contract with the company.
And I thought it was time that maybe I tell everybody, indeed, hell has frozen over. Yes, hell has frozen over. I'm back in the WWE as a legend. I've gone through negotiations. We've reached agreements. And I feel very good about it, because it really, I'm 73 years old now, and my life has now gone full circle. I got my first fame and fortune in the wrestling industry. I went on to do many, many other things above and beyond wrestling or outside of wrestling after I left it. And now, maybe it's only right that I come back to wrestling in the twilight of my life and finish off with what I always was, a pro wrestler.
Ventura was recently backstage at the July 29th edition of Monday Night Raw. He has not been involved with WWE in any official capacity since a one-off guest announcer appearance in 2009. He rose to national fame as a wrestler and commentator for the company from 1984 to 1990. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.